Well, yes, they have a responsibility. Not only earlier, they have a responsibility to release music consistently, but they've been doing it. But again, because we don't consume soca like that, that's the issue. Because I can use me as an example. Over the past, let's say past 5 years, I've consistently did soca shows year round. Different platforms where you could showcase and hear all the new music. But if you as the consumer are interested in it only carnival time, you can't then come back now and blame the artist. But again, because we've been brainwashed into believing that it's seasonal. And I have been taught early out in my career that Trinidad really and truly is just the dress rehearsal for the world. That's what we do. We get ready to go and take what we do to the world. Trinidad Carnival is a dress rehearsal. That's what it is. It's like we preparing the world for carnival and for all the music. And this is the dress rehearsal. From the time you leave here, a real artist leaves Trinidad and tours, start the cycle. The circle ends in October when he comes right back to Trinidad. So that's how it goes. It's like this, I consider this a dress rehearsal for the world. But the consumers of soca and carnival in Trinidad, they don't know that part. They're just interested in it from December to February, whenever. You understand? But as an artist, you have this, so that's why artists struggle when they hear statements about all in a producer music and they're like, are you crazy? I've been working all year, bro. When I leave Trinidad, I'm working constantly. Or you can tell me I'm not doing this thing. But that is the disconnect. If you are not involved, but funny enough, sadly enough, I should say, we don't have the mechanisms in place. Like there was never any soca labels like invested in promotion, like how R&B and hip hop had promotional items where you, even if you're not involved in hip hop, you saw billboards. You never drive downtown and see no soca artist on a billboard promoting a single or promoting it's never been part of our culture. So everybody just got so complacent into waiting for January to hear what this one have and what. And the sad part about soca for me is soca for Trinidad and Tobago too. We don't promote the genre, we promote individuals. So it's never about soca. It's about the individual. So it's like, I like this one, I like that one, I like that one. As opposed to if you compare it to the reggae, a reggae festival don't care who is on the bill. The festival is reggae. So they inviting the world to come and hear reggae music. And inside of that space, you will get some phenomenal artists, which is how I feel about soca the same way. In the soca space, if we did more soca shows, the artists already, not that they're not relevant and wouldn't matter, but people already coming for the music, and the people who producing the music will obviously, the greatest will always stand out. That's the thing about anything. In sport, in the NBA, you don't get to the NBA easy. Everybody playing the NBA is not a superstar, but there's always a LeBron, or there's always a Jordan, or there's always a Kobe. You will always have that. Everything is like that. But soca is the only thing that we don't study the art of soca. All we think about is who is this one and who is that. So we hire people. We don't hire for the music. And sometimes if you really sit down and put it on a piece of paper and you work it out, you see people in small pockets put on an event, and when you get there and you enjoy yourself, you're like, wait, so-and-so real bad boy. But this person real mash up boy. That person would always mash up. But again, and that's where all the conversations come now about cliques and mafia and all them sort of nonsense. You understand? Those nonsense stem off of that. We just perpetuated by encouraging the nonsense. But there are individuals who really for the thing and have been working effortlessly over the years for the thing. I always say, when I started saying great is the art form, was me trying to let the people and younger people understand that there's more to it than just what all they're seeing on the surface level. When I say great is the art form, I mean it on all aspects. If you're in the arts in any which way and you're passionate about it, you have to continue driving and pushing that envelope. And that's me as again. These are all my opinions. What I say is not Bible, but I've been fortunate, I said, to be in it. Like I make jokes. I was baptized in 1999 into soca. That's a joke I make, right? That is when I was conscious about me doing it 100%. I never had a job. This has been my job since then to now. You understand? And in that timing, I've created and been part of so much phenomenal things. Like I see now this thing about, oh, we should have festivals. I gave people soca for summer. You understand? Which had over 18,000 people in the middle of summer. Those things been done before. Myself and Iowa had something called Soca Broadway. We created a venue to allow artists and everybody, all the practitioners, to have their own events in one, so everybody could have break it out. You understand? Those things have been done. They talk about mentorship. Soca Star was a mentorship program. that out of that spawned the last batch of artists that we know now. The Voice, the Second Stars, the Pretties, the Earphons, and all of that. So don't say things are not being done. Things have always been being done, but people have their own agendas, and everybody speak from a place of when they have an issue. So if you have an issue, it's like, okay, now you want to vent or you want to avoid because things not going your way. But my little irk is, when you support anything and things are going your way and you're on top, always remember that you don't want it. It's not for you. It's bigger than all of us. So when you're on top, that is when you should be investing most of your time and energy in securing the position of soca. Not yourself, but soca. Once that is secured, you'll always be right. Because my view on it, if soca good, everybody who are around soca will be great. Why I feel dancehall and reggae artists getting on or they getting on? Because they realize if the genre not good, they will be hungry. If the genre of soca is in a brilliant place, everybody around it will get their piece. You will. That's just how it is.
You mentioned the work that you have done in the past, and that's a huge part of your legacy. Any thoughts towards bringing back soca style or anything like that?
That's been a conversation, especially since after this season. It's been one of the biggest conversations. I've had the most sit-downs I had in a long time trying to talk about, is it possible? The possibility of doing it is there. The way that it was done before needs to obviously change. You understand? Like I was fortunate back in 2019 to work to be on the production team or even Soca Monarch at that time when Fian was at the realm. And there's so much things that can happen in the space. Everybody's so caught up in the whole government funding. Government funding is just a small aspect of it as well. The artists also have to be ready to take one for the team, pretty much. As I said, you have to remove self and think art. If you remove self and think art form, it will move way further and way faster than we're seeing it moving now. But you cannot afford to continuously put self in front of it. And that is the issue I have. A lot of people put self in front of it. If you do it for the art itself, you'll be in a much better position.
Tell me what you mean when you say the artists need to be prepared to take one for the team.
I mean, like for instance, I was never part of the whole defend your crown culture. That's why if you remember Soca side never had a defend your crown. When you win, you move on. That's how it is. And that is where it leaves space for it to grow. So when I say take one for the team, artists need to understand, but listen, if we're trying to save it and create a legacy for the younger ones coming up, let us have the competition. Let us all come together and make it happen. Let us get the people back into the stage. Like you can use Grenada as a template. Grenadans are paranoid about Soca Monarch. It is part of their DNA. Friday in Grenada, the entire of Grenada comes out and shake the stadium because they understand it is an opportunity. And what I love about them, on a random Friday night in Grenada, you can see a brand new Soca Monarch you never see in your life, right? Our culture does not allow that. How we operate is that this super size we support it. I'm not saying you're not a star. A star will always be a star. A star cannot be an orange. You understand? So why would we not try and continue as individuals to push that? So for me, it's about having conversations with the people, the players involved to get the brand back up. And when the brand is back up, find different way. Like I always believe that Soca Monarch shouldn't be in a competition like this. We are at the point that we've done it so much years. Soca Monarch should be a showcase on Netflix. It's supposed to be a document series. You follow 15 artists for the year, and at the end of it, you have a grand show and you put on a presentation for the world to understand. And every year, what young people aspire to is to make it on that stage, not necessarily just to be part of the elite that does that on a Carnival Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever day they want to do it. And it's not a you win, you first. It is the 15 great songs of that whatever year is showcased, but it's followed and produced and documented properly, all these steps moving forward. And you get to that stage when you build a movement. You see, like let's use a couple artists, for example, like how Voice has been moving. Tasia, imagine Tasia's been here since 2014, right? All of a sudden it's like Tasia's been here. So if somebody was taking the time, they could have had Tasia over the past 5 years documenting that journey. And you know, beautiful if they look on big screen, seeing a young man who plays all the instruments, who writes his own music, produces his own music, do that from since then to now. And then this year we could have a nice documentary and you would have seen Marshall and Calypso. That is so much history there. Michael Tasia, so much history there, all documented. And bam, we showing the world that this is why we are the Mecca. But you let these opportunities fall on the wayside because everybody prefer to put self in front of the art. So that, again, this is just my personal take. What I say is not Bible, but this is how I believe it could work.